I'm going to be fitting the smoke deflectors to the A2. Very characteristic things, smoke deflectors, and the peppercorn ones were really quite neat and quite small, and they had handrails on them, and they have to be formed. Now, the easiest way I find for the handrails is to use nickel silver wire rather than brass. 0.45 nickel silver wire, it has a bit more spring in it, and I shape it just using finger and thumb over the drawing. You really just need to go easily in one go. Bend it to shape. You'll find it will find its own natural curve. You can then tease it up and improve it by using pliers. But if you see, that's a match on the drawing. You then thread the handrail pillars in the way I've already described, and then they can be fitted then to the smoke deflector. I've shown you how this deflector was shaped, and if you notice, the shape of the handrail should be an exact mirror image, or exact image, should I say, of the shape of the smoke deflector's top. You can dispense with the drawing now. I mentioned earlier about the need for small detail. Now, if you look on the prototype picture of Bronzino, if you note very carefully here, you can see the Smith stone generator, steam electric generator, and that had conduits running from it up to the top electric light and to the ones in the middle. And it's the top one that we need to consider at this stage. I've soldered the dynamo in position. I've soldered some 5 amp fuse wire into it, and that goes around the front edge of the smoke box. It doesn't actually come onto the smoke box door. You wouldn't be able to open the door, but it runs just around the front of the smoke box, and that then needs soldering. Now, this can be quite alarming because you've got a very, very small white metal piece, all too easy to melt into a blob. So I've turned the iron down. Remember, fuse wire is pre-soldered. It's tin, so it doesn't need any more tinning, and you just touch the end of the fuse wire, and lo and behold, the solder flashes right through and in. Then cut off the excess. And then jockey the wire into position. These wires were never absolutely dead straight or matched curves exactly, so don't worry if they are a little bit wiggly. Don't have them too wiggly. It's one of these things where you can follow the prototype exactly and it doesn't look right. But I hope you can see now the shape of the wire, the conduit going from the Smith stone generator, dynamo alternator, whatever it was called, around the leading edge of the smoke box and up to that top position. We then fit the deflectors. As I said, if we had fitted the deflector first, fitting that would have been nigh impossible. I've tinned the bottom edge of the deflector. It fits very conveniently into a slot. You make sure it's nice and snug. Check that it's vertical, although you will find umpteen pictures of Pacifics with smoke deflectors anything but vertical. I'm talking about ones that should have vertical deflectors, by the way, not things like Princess Coronations or some of the Southern Locos which had curved in deflectors, but we better try and make this correct. Tack it first, a little bit more. Again, you must ensure that you've tinned the brass piece. Solder should flow through. Let's check. It's starting. My word, that's not far off. That's very lucky to get it right first time. Now what you don't want to do is to move its position, so try not to twitch when you're doing this. And you should then find that the solder has run through beautifully. The deflector is ever so slightly turned in. That's better than it turning out, so I just need to reintroduce the iron just to ease it slightly. A little bit more solder, not too much, and you'll feel it move, just a twitch. I think that's got it. Check again. There we are. You can do a little bit of teasing, that's allowed, not too much, otherwise you'll fracture the joint. Just check too that your handrails haven't become disturbed. That's the one that tends to go, which is annoying. If the solder flows through too much, it makes an amalgamation with the ordinary solder, and you get a sort of heinous blob which doesn't seem to do anything except make you very irate. But that's about right. Clean up. Again, very handy that DJH provide these little slots. And there we are, both deflectors on, and I say again, to have tried to fit that now, you really would have been struggling. So it's a question of detail, small detail occasionally, before more specific general detail.